Does brand awareness keep dropping down your list of actions for your company to do this week? And a good chance that it actually does, but I've got a superstar here in marketing and brand who's going to have a great conversation with us over the next half an hour. Mick Brown, welcome.
Thanks for having me back. You threw me under the bus last week at the last minute. Mick Brown's going to be on the show. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, well, we like to keep it short notice so you don't have too much time to think about this. Then we get the real important stuff out of you, Mick, Great topic today. Welcome to all you steel pushers. This covers everyone without a doubt. Brand awareness, depending on who you talk to, depends whether it happens or not in a business. If we talk to the accountant, if he's involved, you definitely won't be doing it. But if you talk to a superstar like this, there's a good chance you could be doing some key things that aren't actually going to cost you any money and things you can be doing really well that's going to help your brand awareness, Mick.
Well, it's one of the most important things you can do in marketing, and I think a lot of people don't understand that there is so much to do with brand that has nothing to do with spending money, nothing to do with being on a billboard or a Channel 9 TV ad. It's a lot of the time it comes from within, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one for me because you when you're employing a new marketing person and that first conversation they want to ask is, what is the budget that I've got? What is the big budget you've got here that I can spend? And it's like, do we want to be starting with that type of quality question, or is it a quality question in the first place? And I know when you came along to the interview, you definitely weren't thinking like that,
Yeah, well, I think a lot of marketers fall into the trap of the more money you spend, the more results or the better results you're going to get. But it's just not true. In fact, the marketing roles that I've been through, particularly with my last two roles and this one, oftentimes there's not a hell of a lot of money to spend on marketing. So you've got to get really clever and you've got to really think about how you can best spend your energy and not your money to get the right marketing out there.
Yeah, and we, we're a year and a half down the track, and I think we've had one of our best years of marketing and brand and SEO into the market. But, it hit me when we were at the Christmas party this year, and you got up and said a few words, and you were talking about brand, and you just said the brand is the people. The people, and it really hit me at that moment, after a few Chardonnays, of course. It hit me at that moment that everyone in the business is the brand and is so important, to be able to build that reputation and build that trust. It's all coming from the people, isn't it?
Yeah, well, branding is very much about recognition, and there's some inherent trust there when you are recognized. If you're the name that, or the first name that comes to mind when you're in an industry or you're thinking about something, people will trust that. And that's why branding is so important.
Yeah. And one of the first things I said to you is, Mick, I want to own the term machine. If someone's thinking machine, I want them to be thinking Machines4U. And then, of course, we kept chatting from there. And then it was like, what are the things that we're doing on a daily basis that are actually building trust? How are we doing what we say we're meant to be doing? Do we say, we're going to turn up here, and when we turn up late or we don't come, what are our salespeople saying and doing? Are we keeping our promises? Are we going into the market and, are we congruent with who we actually are and who our culture is?
Yeah, right, because you can have all the trust in the world, or you can start with the trust, but if your reputation doesn't live up to it, then you've got big problems. If everybody recognizes your logo, but you're known for having poor customer service or really expensive pricing, that's no good. That's notoriety. That's not reputation.
I think it's really helped the culture here too, because everyone knows that, all our customers, everyone's their customer. And it doesn't matter, if it's, the receptionist or whoever it is, they are the ones who are responsible for this brand. And getting out there to the market and being congruent. So
100%, and branding takes time to set up and to build as well, which is probably music to your ears. When I came into Machines4U, and I didn't actually want to rebrand the whole company
because that's the first thing you want to do.
The first thing a marketing manager wants to do. They come in, they want to make their mark and put their own style on it. But because brand takes so long to build, you can damage all of the brand awareness that you've built up over the 13 years of business, which you've done, just by changing what that logo looks like.
Yeah, and a lot of my first conversations with the marketing people in the past have been like, we want to do the matte black cars, and and I'm like, oh God, here we go again. We've just changed from orange. Can we go? Now we're into black, and then they want to expand the logo and everything, and I'm going, the logo's quite nice, it's fine. I thought we'd done a good job on that, but that was quite refreshing when you came in and said it's not just about changing the logo, Well,
it's about what the logo or the brand represents more so than what the logo looks like.
Yeah.
If you're known for great customer service, it doesn't matter what your logo looks like.
And I think we're doing pretty well in that area of actually doing that, So that's been exciting for us. So, small business.
Yeah.
How can they cut through in this busy world of, what do they say now, 16 touch points, for someone to do business with you? What are some cool things that they can be doing?
Well, if you think about branding, you think about billboards, you think about TV ads, and inherently you think about massive, expensive budgets.
Yeah.
But that's not what you need to do to build a good brand. We said it earlier, the brand actually comes from within. If you can start building brand pride from within your own team, that's the first place and the best place for you to start.
Yeah.
Because if you've got your team wearing Machines4U t-shirts while they're at the gym or on the weekend when you bump into them, you know that you've actually tapped into some of that brand pride. And then from there, your customers are then exposed to, because, it makes sense, right? If somebody sees that somebody actually loves the company that they work for, that customer is going to want to do business with you.
They feel it.
They feel it.
That's like, I had an interview 2 days ago, and the guy come in and he goes, man, it's a great culture here. And I'm like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
You just feel that? Yes, the recruiters, talked us up a bit, but he's just felt it, We don't have a receptionist sitting there at the front door. Yeah. Someone walked past and said, oh, can I help you? Then someone else said, oh, do you want a cup of tea or a drink of water?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that perception of us straight away, he felt that straight away. And, just within a quick period of time of walking in the door and then going into a meeting room to have an interview, which when I hear that type of stuff, that just makes me so excited.
And when it comes to accessing your customers, it's really a case of casting the widest net that you comfortably can. Before you start to get drowned out by all of the noise, and it's horses for courses too. If you're big enough that sponsoring a whole V8 supercar is going to get you the exposure that you need, I know that's pretty close to your heart.
Yeah.
And maybe that will happen.
Yeah.
But if you're just a one-off, sort of a one-location dealer that just services really nicely your local area, you start your brand awareness campaign within your community.
Yeah, a lot of these farming machinery dealers, the steel pushers out in these rural areas, as you say, it's not worth, putting a billboard up, down, in one of these main cities. It's like getting to the localness, isn't it? It's getting to the local sports team. It's getting to the local association in the area. It's, it's tying in with all those things in your area.
Yeah, well, it's very location-based for those sorts of guys as well.
Yeah.
You're not having, oftentimes you're not having people from all around the country coming to you. You've just got to service that little small part of your world.
Totally. And the boys from Tractors North down in Currumbin here, I think that's what they've been doing very well. I know Lyndon's been working a lot with them over the last year, and they're having some great success just by really, spending their money wisely in the local area.
And I think if you're networking yourself and your ambassadors or your staff are networking themselves and fishing where the fish are when it comes to getting exposure in front of your audience, that's a great way that you can do it. But one point I want to make is that because branding takes time, branding takes consistency, and it's like that analogy that you said to me the other day about going to the gym.
Yeah,
you go to the gym every day.
Yeah. The F45 class,
Yeah.
you don't just do it once and you've done health. oh, health's finished.
And it's that one where you go to the gym once and then you're in front of the mirror. But actually, 8 weeks down the track, you actually do start to notice, or somebody else notices, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly the same as branding.
Yeah, it was a pretty good analogy, wasn't it? It just rings true. It works a treat. It's about the consistency. It's about the quality and consistency again in it. There's no shortcuts to this. And a lot of people, I think, who spend a lot of money is because they're taking shortcuts. And then they're like, oh, hang on, we better throw some money out again because we haven't done that for a while. That's where it can come unstuck, huh?
Oh, that's where you waste a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's where you waste a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah. All right, reputation and integrity.
Yeah, so we said it earlier. All the brand awareness in the world doesn't count for much if you've got a pretty poor reputation.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I like to say is you've got to try to be remembered for how you act, not who you are. So right now we're talking about how is your staff and how are you representing that brand that you're trying to build up? Like, are you offering the best customer service, and are you a great contact for that customer? Or are you rude? Everybody's been to the car dealership down in one suburb and you've been treated rudely, and then you go to the next one suburb over, and you bought a car from them just because they were nice to you.
The same car, same
car,
model,
same brand.
just drove a suburb in.
Yep, exactly.
Because the guy was rude, didn't get back to you, oh, sorry mate, I couldn't get the demonstration organised today, and you've driven up with your family, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that just sits with people, doesn't it? And in this day and age, we've become, I think a lot of the power's in the buyer's hands. I think it possibly always has been, but more so with the internet, where they can research something and just find someone 2 suburbs over at the drop of a hat.
Yeah,
can't they?
That's right.
Yeah.
And to spin it from the negative, if you're always giving value, like real value, not perceived value to your customer as well, that'll help build that reputation and that, obviously, that integrity as well.
And that's what you've done a lot with us, and when we think of even the show, it was all about giving value to the users. Is it useful? Would they find some good value of it? With our conversation today, do they take something from it and go and have a conversation in their business and it helps them? So I think that's, we're having great success and plenty of people watching these shows. So that's what it really came from, and it hit me with you, is that it's got to be a massive value, and it just rings true to me. I'm always with the sales guys, don't get on the phone unless you're going to give the person on the other end of the phone value.
100%.
Unless everyone's time poor. Let's not just take up their time. It's the biggest commodity.
That's right.
Let's bloody add value to their day and add value to their business ultimately.
Well, that's why we created Steel Pushers. Really.
Yeah.
We don't get anything out of this. In fact, it costs us a lot of money to produce this show, but we're giving all of our knowledge, all of your knowledge from 13 years, my knowledge from the past 18 years, and the knowledge from, Lyndon, our account manager, Luke, Shavam, all the guys within our business. We're just sharing everything that we know, because we know that the business owners and the people within the businesses out there in our space, they've got the same challenges that we do.
Yeah, well, back to the old accountant, if we had got him involved back in the early days and Mick Brown was saying, we're going to do steel pushes on the live YouTube, he would have been like, live what? And what are we going to get in return? And it wouldn't have happened. So, it was like, I guess the beauty with you coming along and the experience, it was like, hang on, we've got to actually listen to this guy and run with some of his ideas and trust that, this is the way for us to go. And it's so true. It's so right.
Yeah. And sometimes when it comes to brand, you do just have to trust that you're making the right decision to do some of these exercises.
Mate, time is flying by. I can't believe that's half a show already. But let's have a quick break. Then we'll skip back. We've got some other great questions from Mick to ask.
So we're down at Archerfield today at Fighter Pilot. Now, Fighter Pilot is a place where you can actually go up and restore World War II aircraft and jets. Today, Luke, Steve, Shavam and I are going up in the Yak and the Mustang.
Mate, I'm super excited. I've got to calm myself down a little because I'm not going until 3 o'clock. So, super excited to get up there. Yeah, we're having a dog fight while we're up there. So, my guy, I'm going to soup him up so that he takes Luke, and we pass him because he reckons ours is faster. So we're going to, dog fighting.
They have been saying that we're actually going to be doing some dog fighting, but I don't see any machine guns or missiles on these planes, so I'm not sure what that means. It probably means that I'm probably going to get a little bit airsick.
Yeah, Mick mentioned that he didn't see any machine guns, but he's obviously missed the 3 that are stuck in each wing.
My wife, along with Shabam's wife, thinks we're going on a scenic tour. That was the safest options for me to tell her. But the dog fighting, she'll find out when she watches this video, I guess. Oh, poor her.
Why are we doing this? Life's about having fun at the end of the day. And, you can work all day and keep working, but every so often you've got to stop and go, hey, let's do something good.
Welcome back to your Steel Pushers. A couple of minute break there, and that was when we went flying planes, Mick. How fun was that?
That was a hell of a Saturday morning, let me tell you.
Wasn't it just?
I think, it was 3 out of the 4 that ended up using those bags. The vomit bags.
And it was only because I said to him, mate, can you ease up a bit? I'm feeling real dodgy. But no, amazing morning, amazing day. And that sort of leads us into personal brand, the conversation around personal brand, Mick.
So all of the people in your business are basically ambassadors for your brand.
Yeah.
What they do in front of your customers, how they handle themselves with each other within the team. They're all personal ambassadors for your brand.
Yeah, and if we go, old Nike, they got Roger Federer parked up over here and Tiger Woods over here.
Yeah.
They got the whole world covered in these 2 big magic identities that were travelling along very nicely at one moment, and then what happened?
Tiger Woods, that way.
Bang. Wow. Sales go down.
Yeah.
He goes down.
Yeah.
Not congruent. Doing the dodgy.
And this is someone who has had the most integrity up until that point. He was the darling of the golfing world. Everybody loved him, but the damage that he did to that brand obviously didn't pull down Nike, of course, but they certainly scrambled to make sure that they covered.
Well, they're lucky they had the other ones,
Exactly.
Roger Federer and that old Swiss ace, still cruising along very nicely, and the whole heap of others. But yeah, imagine if they were sitting on one.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a good team. We've got Lyndon and Steve. So if Lyndon cocks it up, unless it's Steve keep trucking along, or vice versa. Probably be Lyndon. It wouldn't be me for sure.
But that's a training thing too, isn't it? If you haven't trained your staff enough and they're out there in front of your customers and they're saying the wrong thing, there's no malice there.
Yeah.
But you're still affecting your brand, because the story that they're going to get if you come in is going to be different to the story that they're going to get if Lyndon comes in, if you're not on the same page and you haven't done that training.
Yeah, and we just had a comment from Daniel from Applied Machinery, and it's all about your services, your brand, and it's so true. Your people, your service. It's those things that you're saying that you're not following up with. It's the broken promises. That's where it becomes an issue. And the other side of it is, the cool marketing stuff, something that someone's proud to wear. I think you're very good at selecting, great logos and great clothes and cool hats and all the rest of it. The FJ cruises that we've had have always worked a treat and stuff. So I think a big part of the success of that was everyone in the business had input into what they liked, didn't they? You don't just go off by yourself and pick these things.
Yeah, that's right. You've got to play to your audience when it comes to this sort of stuff. We're a tech company, after all. We do play in the machinery space, but we are a software company. And up until I got here, it was a lot of polo shirts. And not everybody loves polo shirts, so we chucked everybody in t-shirts, and we got some cool t-shirts as well. We've got some slogan t-shirts. Obviously, we've got the Steel Pushers merch now. You've got that on now.
Yeah.
If they want to wear it, that's going to just edge you even closer to building that brand pride.
Yeah, we were at F45 the other night, and there was 7 of us in there, and 5 had Steel Pushers Machines4U clothing on. I was like, yes, that's very nice.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're harping on a lot about, the the people in your business are your brand, but it's so freaking true, and it's so important, because I think a lot of you out there probably were going to watch the show and think, oh, Jesus, how much do they want us to spend, Oh, here we go. Someone's going to be knocking on my door asking for another $500,000 because they want to put a billboard up down on Dandenong Road, but you're quite the different.
Having said that, we have spent a hell of a lot of money on t-shirts and hats.
My wife keeps telling me, she's like, how many have you bloody got? I love this wardrobe here. I can just go and help myself and get into the next one. The joys of being the boss, I guess. But I get home and my wife's like, cut his budget. I'm like, what budget? It's clothing. It's cool. What are you talking about?
Well, Maggie, for every 1,000 t-shirts, Steve has 800 of them.
Yeah, I've definitely got the upper hand here. All right, so moving on. Be bold. Take risk. Put yourself out there, Mick.
So putting yourself out there is not easy for everyone. I remember when I first put you in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Very different animal to what we're looking at right now.
What was that, like a deer in the lights?
You were like a deer in headlights.
Oh, man.
You were very stiff, and I had to work a lot with you. And I think we found a rhythm now where if I'm prompting you, I'm getting the natural version of you.
Yeah.
And that's what works. You got that natural version of yourself. The you who's standing in front of customers effortlessly every day for the past 20 years, that's the person that you put out there at networking events, not just in front of the video camera.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting you say that because I've had other people work with me in the past and it was like, right, read this line. And I'm like, you get me to read lines in front of a camera. Hopeless.
Yeah, because you know actor, Steve.
But if you... No. Thanks, Mick. I thought I was going all right. But, but when you ask me a question, I can just talk back to you. Then it's just congruent. It's just what's in there. That's what comes out. And I think that's the way it should be, isn't it? Authentic.
Well, that's the secret to having confidence when you are putting yourself out there, whether it's a selfie video on LinkedIn, whether you're talking in front of people at a networking event or an association. If you know what you're talking about, and all the steel pushers out there, they've been doing this for the past 20, 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
If you know what you're talking about, it's going to be easy for you to present really well.
Yeah, I'm all for that, and I found that was like, when you got me to speak at like the Tractor Machinery Association, and that was quite sort of daunting for me, but I felt confident because you had the experience as well. So when you're working with someone and they've got the experience and they've got the runs on the board, it gives you a lot more confidence. And the other thing I did was just go, I'm actually going to suck at this at the start. It's something new.
Yeah.
It's freaking, I haven't, been born, bloody video cameraing back at the start. I used to always run away from that. I just want to play sport, chase the girls and eat my lunch. That's all I wanted to do at school. So if they got me in front of, let's do some acting, Steve, I'm like, this ain't for me. How can I get out of this one? Pull a hammy, out I go. But you sort of gave me that confidence, and I think you've done that with Lyndon as well, that, because of your experience and your ability to use the cameras and the team you've got now, just jumped in and gave it a crack.
Well, I think I reject, more than most, I reject that tall poppy syndrome that we have in Australia.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the worst parts of our culture.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are afraid to stand up in front of a camera or a big audience and brag about their business or speak up their business because they're just afraid of somebody cutting them down or attacking them back. I hate that. If you go over to America, that's applauded if you were to do that. So taking that part out of it, not worrying about your tall poppy syndrome, being confident about what you're talking about, that's when you're going to be able to present the best.
Yeah, and then you can't steer a parked car, can you? You just got to start.
You do, yeah. 100%.
And you're going to cock up some, you're going to get some, and it's
right.
going to be good.
Yeah.
But just stick to it, you know, and just persevere with it, because on the reverse, there's so much benefit to it, and your users see that and adds value to them. So, it's been a good journey for us.
100%. Yeah, you got to take that first step, because not everybody is Grant Denyer from the get-go. But it didn't take you long to warm up, and now you're hosting Steel Pushers.
Yeah, having a lot of fun. All right, so moving into the next part, what do you want to be known for? What are they? What do they want to be remembered for?
So this is a question that I always ask when it comes to figuring out what to do and what's your message when it comes to a brand awareness campaign. How do you want to be remembered? It's not just a matter of you putting your logo everywhere. You've got to think about what is the parts of your business that you are most proud of and that you can achieve. Do you want to be known for great pricing, or stock availability, or customer service, or after sales support? What are the things that you want to be known for? You start there, and that forms the message of how you do your brand awareness campaign.
Yeah. So, like for someone, it's like if you did business, this is the way I always thought of it. If you did business with them and they were chatting to someone else in the industry, what would they say good about us? What do they say? Oh, Machines is known for this. Machines4U is known for this. Machines4U does this. If they're chatting to someone at a barbecue or in an industry event, oh, Machines4U does this. That's what I always thought of it as.
They're the guys who do that. And we've done it. Well, so for us, part of what we want to get out into the market from a branding perspective is that we want to be the authority when it comes to, insights into the machinery world. That's why we created the Big Orange Report. We've got so much stats and data floating around our site in the back end. All these supercomputers that they've got. I'm not very tech savvy, but we've been able to analyse and see all of these buyer trends. We've chucked it into a report, and now we are seen as the authority when it comes to buyer behaviour.
And it's a thing we're going to do yearly. Lou there, the task on her, it was a massive task. A few of the others got involved with gathering all the statistics. It was all there, but when you have someone who sees that that's going to be of good value to the market, and it really has been. It's had good uptake, 100%. And the feedback I've had is that it's actually useful. Some of the businesses are using it for, helping them purchase machinery and see the trends and what's going on at the moment. So that excites me when I hear that, because it is useful to them and it's good for a market.
And what we did with Steel Pushers is that we basically wanted to let everybody know that we're all in this together. We're all just trying to push steel, move that machinery. You guys are out there trying to sell it. We're trying to help you sell it. We're all operating in a business with all of our challenges, and that's why we created Steel Pushers, so that we could sort of collectively share our knowledge to benefit the industry as a whole.
Yeah, and we're like them. We are them. I sold machinery for 15 years. I know the issues, the pains and strains, and when you understand that, but you can share it within your brand and just be authentic about it. I think that's been the exciting part for us. And I know you got some great ideas coming up for this year. I mean, we won't let out too much, but more of different things in the market that are going to be new to the market.
Yeah, that's right. We've got a lot of stories that we want to tell, a lot of things that we want to do, but definitely keep it under wraps.
Yeah. All right. Well, time's absolute. Geez, Mick, I could talk to you for a day about this, and we probably do off camera all the time, don't we? We get pretty excited. Luke sort of sees us sometimes, and he's like, "Oh, Jesus, are they doing the hot air balloon yet? Have they signed up for the V8s yet?" We had Craig across from the V8s the other day, and I was like, very excited about. There'll be a time and a place, won't there?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, we'll get that in there. So breaking it down in a bit of a summary, brand awareness is your reputation. Your people are your reputation. Your people are your brand. I think that's one of the most important things I've learned with you over this journey. Your people, it all starts at your people. Doesn't cost anything to go out and train them and to create that culture. Remember how you act, not who you are. Build brand pride with your team, which you've done, down there on the beach the other day on the weekend, and Shivam goes past in his shirt. Yes. Brilliant. Take risks, be bold. We've definitely done that, It's a keynote speaker standing up in front of, 500 people at the TMA. Bit nerve-wracking, but did it and added value to them. So
yeah, we did.
Seemed like it went all right, and we'll be doing more of that this year. And what do you want to be known for, It's like, if someone does business with you and they're a little bit down the track and they say, they are known for this. Daniel from Applied, known for your service.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Strong as machinery. It's all a concern to a lot of the steel pusher buyers out there that, are they going to service the machine? Are they going to look after me? It's
Yeah.
all those questions they've got in their head, isn't it?
Yeah, all of the concerns that they have.
So what show we got next, Mick? We're on the old modern day buyer.
Yeah, so I guess we'll be profiling what that customer looks like and how to most effectively engage them and
So
offer them the value.
So that's going to go hand in hand. It's been a great show. Really loved having you on, Mick.
Thanks, Steve.
Buy better.
Sell faster.
See you, steer pushers.